Hi, I'm Sarri Gilman, and I'm a psychotherapist and the author of Transform Your Boundaries. And I'm here today with Georgia, my daughter's dog, hanging out with me. And I'm going to share with you a little bit about how to use this book to work on building your own boundaries. So I wrote this book to be a guide where you have questions that you can answer at the end of every chapter that can help you dig out your boundaries. And I've been hearing over time that lots of therapists are using this book with their clients, where they assign you the reading in between and come back on your own, and that's wonderful. But I also really wrote the book for you to use at home on your own if you're not in therapy. So I'm going to start reading to you a little bit from the book and share with you some of the nuggets you're going to get out of this book. If you set out to build a house, you need to work with materials that you can build a house with, such as bricks, wood, mud, straw. If you tried to build a house out of water, it would be impossible. To have boundaries, you need to work with the right material. You need to know exactly what boundaries are made of in order to build them. Boundaries are made of yes and no. And yes and no comes from inside of you. Yes and no is a voice deep inside of you, and it never goes away. I've watched people do incredibly destructive things to their inner voice, and yet that inner voice still stays. We can make it hard to hear that inner voice. And often when people do hear that inner voice, they may struggle or resist it. You may ignore it because you don't want to do what it tells you to do. When my inner voice tells me I'm working too much, I can be too interested in my work project to actually listen, and I ignore the message. Before you can set boundaries in your life and with other people, you need to be able to listen to that guidance from inside and listen to your true yes and no. When we're too busy working, sacrificing, or protecting other people, we can't really tune in and hear our own inner voice. We're too busy caretaking, working, fixing, isolating, numbing, etc. The changes people make in their lives to really work on their boundaries are part of a process that involves listening to yourself and increasing your self-awareness. People don't just snap their fingers and change their lives. There's no pill that you can take to make it easier to negotiate with your partners, your job, and other things. It may sound overwhelming to make the changes that you need to make, but this book is going to guide you step by step.